Kristina and Bruno, welcome to the Q&A of the Emelin Theater's Film Club and Emelin Theater viewers. We have tonight with us Kristina Buotze and Bruno Samper, who are the co-directors and co-writers of this beautiful transporting film, Vesper. I really am excited to talk to you about this film because, you know, it invites so much in the imagination and so much thinking and questioning, but I'm very curious to hear about your process and what inspired you. I know that you've primarily worked in sci-fi, and clearly you have a draw to that genre, but what inspired you to tell this story in particular? What was the original seed, so to speak, to use an appropriate metaphor for this film?
Yes, I mean, first of all, we wanted to shoot a movie in Lithuania,
Okay.
and to use all production value from Lithuania, and Lithuania is wonderful for its nature, and so that's how it started, and then it somehow came not only science fiction genre, but with all the nature, it came that we wanted to make a fairy tale. And Vesper is a science fiction dark fairy tale. And yes, and after maybe Bruno, you can continue.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to create a fairy tale because we are from a generation, we were young before the year 2000, and you know, for us when we were a kid, 2000 it was the future and was imagining like a bright future, you know, after this this limit of 2000. And today, I mean, for young generation, when they look at TV, when they look at news, there is always bad news, there is always apocalyptic news, you know, like, okay, the end of the world, climate change, and no future. And we think it should be very hard for young people to project themselves in the future and to try to grab something and to grab some hope. So as the fairy tale from all the time was a way, in fact, to use archetype to transmit some message to young generation. So it's what we wanted to do with Vesper. We say, okay, let's imagine that the world is really it's really finished, you know, it's really almost dead. So we play this game, this mind game. Let's imagine that the world is really finished. What it left, what it stay, on what we could grab. And we create this character of Vesper with, metaphorically, she's a seed. We have this metaphor of the seed, but Vesper, she's a seed by herself. She's a seed of hope. And we put in Vesper all the human value of compassion, of collaboration, of creativity, of imagination. All this human value would like it stay, you know. And with this message, and if there is still this value, if they are still existing, like a seed, everything could start again. Everything could restart, and we could grab that and we could develop that to create a better world. So yeah, that's why the project.
Right. That is an interesting way to sort of encapsulate and characterize Vesper. Some of those things I realized, but it's interesting to hear it from you. So one of the other things that was striking to me about the film, and I can see how you're using the setting and the story of Vesper to sort of hold a mirror up to the society that we're in today, you know, contemplating, you know, the environmental crisis, of course, you know, socioeconomic divisions and how the environment is affecting, you know, people in different ways, depending on their fortunes. But one thing that I really thought was quite interesting is, seems like you're saying, you know, yes, we are creating technology, but that doesn't mean we always control it, whether it's bioengineering or artificial intelligence, that, you know, there are dangers when we create this technology, but we can't control it. Are those some of the things that you're looking to show there, or maybe even, you know, pointing a finger at a company like Monsanto. I don't know if that's really a direct reference, perhaps, but I'd be curious to hear you talk about those issues.
Yes, Monsanto, it was a direct reference, but I mean, we are for technologists, and we think that the future, it is in the hands of technologists, and it is very important to concentrate and to go on. Just how we were imagining the situation that in trying to like adapt the worst scenarios that could happen. So it's not only one problem that would attack humanity. There are many problems, and it's like they come at the same time, and people try, but at some point they can't. And at some point, maybe it wasn't enough technological advancement to manage to solve all problems, because it's not only like climate change. There is also viruses, there is epidemic, there is overpopulation, there are resources, there are wars. I mean, it's countless. I mean, so many problems, and they tackle at once, and they are becoming bigger, stronger, and more dangerous. And because we show that Vesper is a character who is self-taught, and she thinks that science, that knowledge will open her the door and will help her to go out from this world where she is. And yes, it does help. So in science, we do believe.
Right. No, I was reading the press notes for the film and your director's statement. I was really interested to read some of the sources you had for your research and the world building, and that you were looking at organic architecture, biodesign, and genetic engineering. I was just curious to hear if there are any particular anecdotes or instances you could share or willing to share in terms of your process, and where you took particular inspirations, because even it's really a visually beautiful film. Even the moments that are supposed to be a bit haunting or scary, it's still in its own way always beautiful. So I'm just curious, like, are there things that we can expect around the corner in our own lifetime that are in the film, that we saw tonight?
We think that the future of the technology is really organic. I mean, we believe in that in the ways, and more the technology will go in complexification, and more it will go close of the organic life. More will go complex, more will go simple in some way. And
Right.
will go close of organic life. For example, one of inspiration is a designer called Neri Oxman, who worked to the MIT. She have a lab in the MIT. When she, in terms of design, she experiment about this inspiration from the nature, and using the nature, in fact, in the creative process of imagine the design of tomorrow. We also read a lot of books about geneticians, about scientists, watching a lot of documentary about the biodiversity. We are really fascinated by the biodiversity, because yes, the nature finds solution to everything already, in fact. And we have such level of complexity in the nature and such sense of wonder. I mean, we even can imagine. I mean, yesterday I discovered a video of kind of butterflies, and when they are flying, the wings, they are waving, but waving like if they are underwater. I never saw that before, and I even didn't suspect it could exist. And every day we discover new wonder from the nature. So, I mean, this biotechnology, it's an inspiration, but the nature is the first inspiration for us. And about the anecdote, yes, we was trying to imagine this world, or in fact, how we could evolve from now to then. So, for example, we was imagining what kind of material. Today, for example, there is experiment of new kind using mushroom, a new material, organic material, mushroom or seaweed, material from seaweed, material from, different biomaterial like that. And we was putting that in Vesper, this bioplastic, this was trying to imagine also what is the culture of this world, what is the sociology. You know, for example, we imagine that it was a virus, so there was no big community. There was a small community, very separate from each other, you know, like that. That's why Vesper, she live isolated, her uncle in another community. We don't have didn't have big group of human, but they are very separated because of virus. All they gather the evening, or what kind of art they have. For example, on the wall of the house of Vesper was trying to imagine, okay, what they put on the wall. They don't put posters, they don't put paintings. So what kind of art? So we are imagining this kind of art made from embroidery, playing with organic stain, you know, like you have a stain on the fabric and you play with this stain. It's really a world when they try to do with the nature, and they try to co-create with the nature. And it's exactly what Vesper is doing. She's co-creating with the nature. She's not passive, but she don't want to control neither. She's trying to find this balance. And,
yeah, that's interesting. Another way that she's sort of the idealized human in a way. And interesting, you know, one of my other questions for you both was about what you were talking about just now, how people are very isolated. And, you know, on the one hand, you know, the rich and privileged people who live in the Citadel are, you know, in theory, the ones who are comfortable. But, you know, as Camilla mentions, you know, it's actually oppressive in its own right. So, you know, on the one hand, they have certain, you know, so-called creature comforts that the people living outside don't experience, but it's very much a gilded cage. And, you know, are you saying that there's like a pitfall to the greed, or there's, you know, consequences and sacrifices that come with this comfort? Or
yes, of course, we didn't want to have like the big antagonist, or like rich are bad and poor are good. We didn't we didn't think in these terms, and we show a world where everybody are kind of prisoners of their own created rules. And there is this strong two lines of Jonas, the antagonist of the movie, and he's saying that there is an order of things, and that everybody needs to go with this order, and there is not possibility to change. So people are stuck in this way of order, and they are stuck because of their survival, because they don't know another way how to be, and not necessarily they feel good in this, they just follow it. And Vesper is suggesting that maybe there is another way, that maybe in collaboration, maybe in communication, there is possible to, and maybe in daring, there is possible to find this another way. And so I think that it's very important message nowadays, when our humanity is going kind of to the wall, with all the problems growing, and many people are saying, no, but there is nothing possible to do. Life, it is as it is. And we continue to go to the wall. So I don't know, at least we send this message to the youth that maybe they can find this other way. Maybe they can open up for collaboration. Maybe they can open up for ideas and for knowledge, for science. And because when two people meet, when two heads meet, they can open the potential of each other. And also when there are more ideas put at one, people can create bigger things than doing alone. So that's why, I mean, there is also this line and this character features in Vesper.
Yeah, and that is a really nice and hopeful focus. That is, as dark as the world is, you know, you have this hope invested in this, you know, young female scientist, and that she could be the one who turns things in a better direction. And so, you know, another thing that struck me about the film, and, you know, we can make this the last question because I know that you have such a busy day, you know, that the Citadel is surrounded by this mythology, and it's something that Vesper, it's a destination that Vesper is pinning her hopes on for a better life for herself and potentially her father. It's very interesting. You never really see past this, sort of kingdom, sort of mythical kingdom in the distance. Is that, an intentional reveal? Maybe there's a sequel to Vesper where you see things from the perspective of the citizens of the Citadel, or is it just sort of to invite more imagination on behalf of the viewer? What was, or are we supposed to perhaps maybe be more in the shoes of Vesper, or both? But did you ever consider revealing life on the other side of the Citadel walls?
I mean, for Vesper itself, for the movie, the Citadel, as you say, was a myth. Was like a chimera, like a myth. The myth, then the grass is greener somewhere else. Some escapism. Like we have today. We have problem and we want to escape either in virtual reality, either on Mars, either somewhere else. We want to try to project ourselves somewhere else, and the Citadel was really representing that. And at the end, as you say, we show it far away. It's like a mirage. Citadel, we literally show it like a mirage. And the arc of Vesper, it's a coming of age. When she grew up, in a way, then in fact. She want to escape from her condition, but she has talent, she has skills, and what she will understand the hard way, but what she will understand, that she need to use her skill, her talent to change the world where she is, because there is nowhere to escape. There is nowhere to escape. It's here and now, and she need to change the world here and now. So the Citadel was really was a myth. Wasn't really real, in fact, in some way. But that say, I mean. Will be very, very we love, in fact, to continue to explore this world, because there is really many stories to tell in this world. So of course, if we continue to explore this world, we'll give a voice to the Citadel and try to dig a little bit more inside, and what could be the people inside them. Then
Yeah, well, it's such an interesting film, and it's a great story, as just a a film going experience. But as I said at the beginning of the conversation, it's really lit up my brain in terms of thinking about how what kind of future is ahead of us, and as you said, are we what can we do to sort of slow the brake, put on the brakes or change direction, so we're not driving so fast toward this wall as a society. So it's really a beautiful and thought-provoking film, and I congratulate you on it, and thank you for sharing your inspiration and your backstory on the making of it. Right, I think it's a really great film. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Good day.